Hello, hobby. It's the authentic sports car dad here, ZiggyNo. I'm in Los Angeles here, not far from the beaches, as you can see behind me. Super excited. Very busy week in sports cards. A lot going on. We got Definitive dropping this week. Star Wars is yesterday. Archives is yesterday. Still got lingering of, Bowman Draft out. There's so many good products in the market and more coming, right? Playoffs tonight. Football playoffs in college football. Football playoffs tomorrow night. Pro playoffs this weekend. It's a great time to be an authentic sports car dad. A couple other quick updates. I will say I'm not going to do it in this video, but I did get an update on PSA. We are close to resolving my missing cards. Unfortunately, the resolution is going to be in them paying me money. I'm not happy about that because the money they're paying me is based on market value that they calculated. You can only imagine. I will do a separate video on that later on, talking about how I got to where I am with PSA. I will also say I've already submitted more cards to PSA. I've got over 100 cards at PSA, and I'll continue to use PSA. I don't blame them for the issue. I think they could have done more to resolve it. And then God help me if these are like really, really valuable cards that were completely lost. But anyway, what I will talk about is kind of hobby news. It's funny, I'm hearing a little more positivity from our negative content creators in the hobby recently. I saw the stuff about the patches and people cutting up cards. I think this happened a few years ago. People did this as well. When I came in the hobby, people did it. Let me just say this real quickly. If you believe a manufacturer simply because they tell you that the card is, game worn or whatever, that's your choice. I have kids who believe in Santa Claus. What you believe in is what you believe in. I think the key is what you can convince other people when you sell that item to them. Um, for example, that's why they even put that game worn on there. This is from this specific game because it potentially adds value. But in reality, I never ever was a big fan of the relic. I thought to myself, so I've got a little tiny piece of a jersey that a guy wore in a game. So what? I'd rather have the experience of the memory of the game or being there or drinking a beer and cheering my friend. And I don't know. And the relic cards never did to me. I'll also say I think there's a huge opportunity when you look at what's going on with the debut patch to really make value out of relics and experience cards. I go back to those bat cards. Like, was it someone showed me? I forget which video it was. It was Wax Museum, a video of Babe Ruth bat relic. And his comment was, you know, was it Babe Ruth? No, no, it wasn't Babe Ruth. It was a pitcher. I think it was Clemens. It was Clemens bat relic, right? And he's like, Clemens didn't even go to bat. Like, what does this even mean? You think that was Clemens bat? And do you really think they splintered it up to put little pieces in cards? I just find that amazing. I think part of it is, and I say this, SCV says this all the time, this is really not an industry. Like we think that there's protections against, monopolies. There's only protection against monopoly if the government comes in. The government does not give a shit about sports cards. They're not paying attention at all. Um, in fact, the biggest monopolies in the United States are the sports leagues. They are monopolies. Okay, I just find it interesting. Anyway, other news: Panini not going away. Knew that. Told you they weren't going to go away. I also say, wouldn't it just shock the shit out of you? If Panini bought Beckett. I mean, they've got a bunch of money. They know the hobby. They could pivot into grading. Could you see them grading cards? Huh. I could. I mean, shoot, HGA did it, right? Some guy in his basement started grading. Panini's got more clout in the hobby than they do. Also, there's the announcement of eBay and the Facebook thing. Again, another big player, eBay. eBay, would the eBay buy Beckett? I don't see that happening. Like, it doesn't match their major goal. If Beckett was grading more than just sports cards, and I know they do grade other things, but if they were doing a whole bunch of stuff, maybe it make more sense. Um, but I do say, as I said in my video a few weeks ago, I think it's this year's gonna be a year of business. Businesses are going to be taking stronger positions in sports cards and in the collectible market space. Look for growth, expansion. As a collector, as an individual collector, I do think you're going to feel pain and pressure on price. But I also point out for every one collector who gets mad and complains and says they're quitting, number one, I call cap. You're not quitting. You're just pissed and you're going to go hang out somewhere else. You're going to come back or you're going to find a different angle. It's kind of like an addiction, this hobby. And for everyone who does complain or leaves, there are two or three that will replace you. I've run into a lot of new people recently, just in my general life. I got connected to a friend of mine. I think I'll do a series on this. A guy who got into sports cards with his daughters because of Caitlin Clark. Again, this is a phenomenal thing, and now he loves the hobby. So as we see more and more publicity, like the Pittsburgh Pirates and the all the game 30 years of tickets. I mean, that's going to bring people into the hobby. So I'm super excited. Um, I'll go back to the original, my original goals in the hobby is that I want to make it a better place. There's a lot going on, a lot of room to improvement and for improvement, and lots of things we can do. We can do together as a community, right? So I guess that's it right now. PSA, working at resolution. Panini not going away. Big fan of Panini too, by the way. I think Panini and Fanatics should, I don't say cooperate, but should kind of put the war, end the war. Now we'll say too, Panini's been decimated by the Fanatics attacks, right? They stole their talent. Um, you remember that break-in a few years ago, those Panini servers? Who the hell did that? Who the hell did that? That never came up. No one's ever talked about that, right? So Panini's been through the ringer. It's also funny because I know how people hate Panini. Like back in the day, like 2018, 2019, people hated Panini because they were the big monopoly. Realistically, not realistically, but relatively speaking, they monopolized basketball and football, and we're touching on baseball. And Tops was in the corner just fighting with baseball, and Upper Deck had hockey, and now we all fucking hate Panini, and they're falling apart. And I will say, we don't hate them. We don't hate Panini. That was too hard. But we complain about Panini. We blame Panini for this. Oh, Panini that, Panini this. I'll just remind you, Panini's a company. They're in business. They're pivoting. I'd love to be part of that. I think it's awesome. Not that I want to go work at Panini, but I love that what they're doing, what their opportunity is. So anyway, hope you have a great day from here in Los Angeles area. Hope it's warmer where you are. It's nice here. Not hot, but it's warm. Like, comment, subscribe, all that stuff. More authentic sports car dad in the future.